Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, let's see how to completely upgrade your clutch assembly and your braking system. So let's start by unboxing one of the important part that I purchased from TVS. Yes, I'll be using the complete master cylinder assembly of Apache RTR 204V, which also has an adjustable lever. The reason why I decided to upgrade to RTR 4V's master cylinder is because of three main reasons. 1. Better braking power due to slightly bigger piston when compared to the stock master cylinder. Braking feel and the adjustable levers. Once you open the box, you will get the entire assembly of the front brake master cylinder, which also has a brake light switch. Next, for the clutch part, I'll be replacing the entire stock assembly with the RTR 204V's one. If you're looking only to upgrade your clutch and brake levers, you can purchase only the levers from TVS. But in this video, I'll be showing you how to upgrade your entire braking system for better stopping power and also upgrade your entire clutch assembly for a better clutch feel. Start by removing the mirrors by tapping it on the clockwise direction, then undoing it in the anti-clockwise direction. Repeat the same for the right hand side mirror, but this time tapping it in the anti-clockwise direction and undoing it in the clockwise direction. Once the mirrors are removed, now let's move on to disassemble the entire clutch assembly. Start by undoing the 8mm bolt below the clutch lever assembly. Next, remove the screw which is holding the clutch lever. Once the screw is removed, remove the dust boot. Now, disconnect the clutch cable from the clutch lever. Once the clutch cable is removed, start by undoing the clutch switch below the clutch lever assembly. Once the clutch sensor switch is out, you can remove the lever. Now, in order to remove the clutch yoke, you have to remove the entire left hand side components. Start by removing the bar and weight as shown in the video. Use a 5mm Allen key to remove the bar and weight. Once the bar and weight is out, twist the handlebar grip and pull it out. Now let's move on to removing the control switch. In order to remove the control switch, there are two screws holding the entire assembly. As shown in the video, remove the two screws in order to remove the control switch. Once the control switch is out, loosen the 10mm bolt holding the clutch yoke. Now try to wiggle and remove the clutch yoke from the handlebar. If your clutch yoke is too tight to come out, use a flathead screwdriver to make some gap between the clutch yoke and try to slide it out of your handlebar. Now let's start assembling everything back onto the bike in the reverse order of removal. We had to remove all these components just to remove the clutch yoke from the bike. This is where I can appreciate TVS design over Bajaj for providing an easy and convenient way to install and remove the clutch yoke assembly. Since my clutch cable is pretty old, I have decided to replace the same. I'll be showing an easy way to route the new clutch cable in the stock position without any hassle. Start by removing the dust boot as shown in the video. Start by connecting the bottom part of the new clutch cable to the starting part of the old clutch cable using an insulation tape. Use a generous amount so that the both cables doesn't disconnect while routing. Once both the clutch cables is firmly attached, start by disconnecting the old clutch cable from the engine. Now slowly and carefully pull the old clutch cable, routing the new one in the same way. Don't be in a rush, take your time and route the new cable as shown in the video. Once the new clutch cable is routed and in place, disconnect the old clutch cable and connect the new one to the engine case. Now let's start installing the RTR's clutch lever assembly. Place the clutch assembly in the handlebar in the preferred angle and tighten the two 10-number bolts provided with the assembly. We will be needing this old adjuster nut from the stock assembly. Insert into the new assembly and align the gaps and connect the cable as shown in the video. Keep in mind, this adjuster nut won't be a tight fit like a stock assembly. But don't worry, this will not create any problem. Now let's move on to connecting the clutch sensor switch. Start by cutting the stock wire and split opening the sleeve, exposing the two wires inside the stock clutch switch sensor. Now measure the length of the new clutch switch sensor of the RTR and cut it as shown in the video. Now connect the black wire from the RTR switch to the black and yellow wire in the stock switch wire. Next, connect the blue wire of the RTR switch to the yellow one in the stock switch cable. Once the connections are made firmly, insulate it properly to avoid any short circuit. Even if you connect these wires in the opposite way, don't worry, this will not create any issues in your bike. Once the connections are made and insulated properly, use a zip tack to hold all the wires in place. Once this is done, adjust the clutch free play. I have already made a detailed video on how to adjust the clutch free play. If you want to see the same, I'll be leaving the link in the I button. Now comes the most exciting part, upgrading your braking system. Start by removing the two screws on the stock master cylinder cap as shown in the video. remove the plastic cap followed by the rubber cap, making sure that the fluid doesn't leak on the bike. As you can see in the background, I have placed a wet cloth on the tank so that even if the brake fluid falls on the bike accidentally, it doesn't create any problem. Use a syringe to draw all the old brake fluid out of your master cylinder as shown in the video. Make sure your master cylinder is completely empty before doing anything further. Now, start by undoing the 14mm banjo bolt using a 14mm socket or a ring spanner. Do not forget to collect the 2 copper washers, which is very important to avoid any brake fluid leakage. If your copper washers are damaged, consider replacing it with a new one. I suggest you to purchase a new set of banjo bolt and copper washers from TVS while doing this upgrade. Now start removing the 2 8mm bolts holding the entire master cylinder onto the bike. Once you remove the 2 bolts, disconnect the 2 wires connecting the brake light switch sensor as shown in the video. Now let's install the RTR's master cylinder, starting with the connection to the brake light switch. Next, install the master cylinder with the 10mm bolts and the clamp provided along with it. Once you set the master cylinder in the desired angle, tighten the both 10mm bolts thoroughly. Now let's connect the brake line using the banjo bolt that we removed before. Ensure that both the copper washers are in place and tighten the banjo bolt to the master cylinder as shown in the video. Now let's remove the RTR's reservoir cap followed by the plastic cap and the dust cap. Fill in with new brake fluid and don't forget to bleed the brakes. I'll be making a separate video on how to bleed the braking system in the upcoming video. Since the RTR's master cylinder has a bigger piston compared to the stock one, it can push more brake fluid to the caliper, which in turn increases the braking power. And the convenient part is we got both the clutch and the brake lever adjustable. After installing the slipper clutch in NS200, in combination with the RTR's clutch assembly, the clutch feels very light and is butter smooth in operation. When it comes to the braking power, you can feel the difference immediately. The braking feel and feedback has significantly improved over the stock one. And now, if you are not careful enough with the front brakes, it can easily pull up a stoppie. I suggest you to do this upgrade only if you have a good pair of tires. I am running an Apollo Alpha H1 over here, which is W rated and has excellent grip. I hope this video was informative enough. If you people like this video, consider subscribing to the channel and also share this video to your friends who owns a NS200 or RS200 or 220 or the KTM bikes which is of 200cc category. Even for the bikes which is of 125cc category, this can be a good upgradation. Stay tuned for more such interesting contents.